Hi. Today, I would like to talk about breaking through. Actually, it's my word for 2024 is about breaking through. And for me, that actually means to stop playing it safe and to start pushing boundaries. In terms of my language, in terms of my actions, a lot of people that know me say that I often push boundaries anyway, so I'm not a particularly safe player. I like to provocate and also have been educating myself. But today really is about breaking through and thinking about business models. And so when I think about business models, and I wonder whether you agree or not, there's business models and then there's business cases and there's business blueprints. And they kind of feel like sometimes these terms are interchangeable, but actually for me, they mean quite different things. Business model is how does a business make money? What is the purpose of a business to survive and what value does it add? And then I think about a business case, and a business case is kind of, I feel like, something that we use to assess an internal investment decision. Um, and and they can be interchangeable, but it's almost like we need a business model for our business, but it's almost like how many different business models can we run within an organization? And I've spoken about this before, and I feel that business organizations that are continuing down that pathway of business as usual and aren't willing to invest potentially over half of their capital, half of their reserves on new projects, on new business models, on new business cases, on disrupting everything that the business has been doing in the last 10 years or longer. If we're not willing to look at investing 50% or more of our reserves in a different way, then I kind of feel that that's a bad decision, because in the next 5 years, if we're not disrupting our business models, we're going to get left behind. We can see it in our consumers, but we also see it from regulation. We know that we're now being mandated under the international sustainability standards that have come into effect. They might not immediately impact every business, but they will. And I think that's a journey that business owners and finance leaders need to get themselves on, because this now is mandated reporting. So even if we're a non-reporting entity, even if we're a small, less than 50 mil, 30 mil, less than 100 employees, we might not have to report, but we're going to have to report in other people's value chains, because what we do feeds into bigger entities. And that's right, because from a systems perspective, everything we do impacts the whole wider ecosystem. So back to business models and breaking through. We all have a responsibility to do better business and to think about the impact that our business is having on the ecosystems in which it operates, whether they're economic systems or social systems, ecological systems. We need to start thinking about this, and as finance leaders start to have a conversation about this. And I think from a finance perspective, we've always, up till now, we've kind of been in the back office, being that supportive compliance. Even if we say we're not often out at the front edge of the business saying, what are we doing from a sustainability perspective? And a number of reasons for that. I think a lot of finance leaders, maybe even CFOs, don't speak about sustainability and their part to play, because they don't know everything that they need to know. And so as finance leaders, our MO has been, if I don't know something 100%, I'm not going to talk about it. I don't want to make myself to be out to look like someone who doesn't know everything about this topic. So I would suggest that we need to kind of get over that feeling and educate ourselves and move away from that take, make, waste linear linear business model and move towards a more ecocentric, collaborative, circular, ensuring that all the parts in our process have have got the highest value. How do we think about even looking to nature for wisdom? If you've heard of biomimicry, then how do we think about how nature has been operating successfully in systems thinking for hundreds and thousands of years, way before business was even here. So I wanted to share with you a great asset and something that I was introduced to in my studying through Cambridge University, and I will share that with you here. So just bear with me a second. So the asset is this website called Project Breakthrough, partnered by United Nations and Volans. And there's some really great resources in here. Just wanted to share with you because I think, it's about educating ourselves. It's about getting involved in what's happening, following leaders in the global sphere of who's leading the conversations here, and showing me examples. So how do we do this through different business models? And this is a great resource because they've got lots of different types of business model ideas and examples. So this one has got a number of links. It's talking about closed loop. How do we do better with basically less? So this is a great resource. You can see here, we've got examples. How do we break through? How do we do better with less, from linear to circular? So have a look across this, have a look across the intelligence, across the value chain. And I like this opportunity around how do we become more effective rather than more efficient. And we're looking then at maybe starting to tap into what are the SDGs in our business and how do we think about those and how do they drive some of our decision making. So this is a really great resource. There's a number of different ones I want to share with you over this series, but I think that one's a really good place to start. Another business model paper as well that I'd like to share with you is from Volans, and another breakthrough paper that they've put together, which again is a really great asset. And I would really encourage you to have a look at this because how many pages? 39 pages. Often we haven't got the time to find where some of these great resources are, and sometimes we can find from the Big Four where they're doing papers on different examples of where people are doing things differently. This is a really good paper, and if you go straight to the executive summary, we're talking about tomorrow's business leaders understand what it's like to be truly sustainable, and what's the business case again. So what's the business case and business models? And there has been slow progress because first mover advantage has been consistently overrated. People feel, I think, very risk adverse to getting out there on the front foot and doing business differently. So this company Interface, whether you've heard of them or not, I came across them as part of my study. Actually, just before I did the Cambridge course, I was doing more regenerative exploration, and a coach I had at the time suggested I look at Interface, a global carpet manufacturer. They've been in the sustainability space since 1994, and they've been on what's that 30-year 30-year journey around how to investigate what being better business means, and it's been a journey for them. But so they're mentioned here, and also Novo Nordisk, both companies making huge inroads into doing things differently, and bringing around that unusual levels of imagination, ingenuity, courage, and stamina to bear. Obviously, these companies have bigger assets and bigger reserves, but they're also in this space of actually pushing the boundaries in terms of being better in their business. So this is a really great resource. I want to just take you to a chart that I've just been sharing on socials as well. Let me just get down to that. I really like this curve. So we talk about the different waves that we've been in business, and Volans are suggesting that we're at the bottom of this U-bend now in 2025, just sort of coming out, breaking through this zone of maximum confusion and uncertainty. And I absolutely love that and can see that over the last, 10, 15 years that we've been in this huge uncertainty zone. So they're suggesting that we're starting to get into wave 3, where we're coming out of this zone of uncertainty and confusion, and we're actually embracing it, and we're embracing the uncertainty and the possibility that the future could be dramatically better. But I think what's important for us is to be one of those leaders and one of those voices, even if it's within our own team, whether it's within our own organization, or whether, like me, you want to go a bit bigger and a bit more global. But these are the conversations that we need to start feeling comfortable having about pushing boundaries. And that's why some of the reasoning behind why I do what I do, because I know that we can't achieve such greatness on our own. So yeah, have a look at this report. It's fascinating, and so many examples in here around different business models. I think 18 different case studies around business models and how people are doing things differently, how people are moving away from that linear, how people are now looking at the collaboration, and how do we solve global problems, not just local problems. So I hope this is going to be inspirational for you. 2 great assets there, Project Breakthrough and the Volans report. I'd love to hear what you think. And if you feel like joining me on the Future Finance Thinkers Lab, 20th of February, if it's not already too late to do that, but then another one on the 16th of April, where we're literally getting finance leaders and business leaders together to talk about how to do things differently. So if you're keen to be a part of that, then reach out and let me know. We can share the details with you. But I hope you enjoy this video and have been inspired to take action.